Hi guys, Alex here from HPD. Welcome back to my journey creating Queenie the drag car. In last week's video we did our planning and you'll see that this time a few things didn't quite go according to plan, but it's all part of the process, and if you want to get caught up, feel free to watch that video. This week we're going to go right ahead and move forward into our preparations. It's going to come out in 3 simple steps. Our first is cutting the body and fitting it to the chassis. Our second is washing and drying to prepare for painting. And lastly, masking out the design so that we are good to go. Looking forward to this journey with you. Hope you are too. Okay guys, here we are back in the office. We're going to start by cutting out our body. As you can see, for tools, I am using those curved scissors that we had on our original wish list. There are a few different methods for removing the body. I found it most helpful to go in with the curved scissors, do a broad cut, and then do a second pass where I was just getting really nice and close to the line, that more precision cutting. You'll also see that I am making sure to leave the wheel wells intact. I'm going to use those later in the video to make some beautiful false eyelashes for Queenie, as she is a dramatic drag queen car. And you'll also see me using the hobby knife method in a smaller section here, where you can score using the hobby knife, scoring right along the line and then bending and folding. There you go. Bending and folding so that it all pops out in one piece. It really comes down to different strokes for different folks. I preferred the scissors, but others prefer the knives. Now here you can see those lashes. Again, I made those out of the wheel well, cutting out a broad design, putting in a sharp bend, and then cutting out each individual lash. You can draw it on, but as you can see, I really ignored my own drawing lines, just making sure to go from big to small. Now, when I put them initially up on the car, I felt like those straight up lashes were just too much. They didn't look natural to me. I wanted something more lifelike, and I decided to go ahead and curl the plastic. So you can see here we're doing this little bit of pressure, rolling a little at a time so that it has a nice natural roll. And I really feel like that created a neat look, and I hope you guys like it too. You'll notice I do need to rebend some of these, but it was a good start, and went ahead and did that with the second set as well. Now we're going to go ahead and fit the body to the chassis. On the front, no problem. I can line those supports up right alongside the noses at the front. But as you can see at the back, this body does not perfectly fit the Traxxas Drag Slash chassis. It needs to be lifted up. So this was the part of planning that I didn't have ready to go. This would be a second trip, I'm sorry, to the hobby shop, or in my case, our warehouse, where we picked up this ProLine body extender. So it's going to go ahead and screw onto there, and then we'll slide those supports in to lift the body up to our chosen height. Another step there that I should have done would be to actually cut those holes now. It did prove to be a little bit harder to have to cut the holes later. Now we're going to get our body cleaned and ready for painting. Some people will tell you to scuff. That's great for helping to make the paint adhere, but because I'm going for more of a show rather than race body, I didn't want any scuff marks showing through my paint. Regardless, afterwards you want to give it a good clean with soap. You don't want any of your oils from your fingers showing. Rinse all of the soap off and then give it a dry. Normally you'd want to use a lint-free towel. Again, I'm at the office, so I'm just going to use this craft paper. I'm going to blot up the excess water to try not to leave any lint behind, and then I'll allow it to air dry for a good while, because we don't want any water messing up our masking, or worse yet, our paint. Okay, here we are back in the office. It's time for masking. We're going to start out with this sticker. This comes with your ProLine body kit. It's meant for protecting the windshield. We're only going to use the front one because we are not having windows on this, because it's more of a person than a car. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to transfer her eye design directly onto this masking sticker and then cut it out with the hobby knife before applying it. I'll be frank and say that I couldn't find an easy way to transfer her eye design, so I had to somewhat eyeball it. You'll see here I chose to use the highlighter because it created light lines, which allowed for the opportunity to correct, and then I would just line things up and do the best that I could. I then went out, traced out that design with the hobby knife. I initially thought of transferring each little piece onto the windshield, and quickly realized that was going to be foolishness. So I taped it all together to make it one solid sticker using the painter's mate tape. and then cut out the excess of that and carefully removed the backing paper. You'll notice when I say carefully removed, it's because the design wants to separate. So you'll notice me kind of pushing the design back down to keep it all in place before I transfer it onto the windshield. Again, once it's time to transfer it onto the windshield, you're going to see I struggled a little bit with making things line up. This tape is sticky. These stickers are sticky. So I didn't line it up perfectly. Thankfully, I had a lot of excess masking stickers because I didn't need to cover those other windows. So I just cut out a little bit of that and covered that space so she didn't wind up with purple in her eyes. I also used a little bit of that extra masking sticker to create these little lip gloss spots. So I'm going to put those onto Queenie's lips so that she will have some pop in lip gloss, and then I'm going to cover the rest of that with our masking tape, our painter's mate, because there is no sticker that comes for this section, so we're on our own here. Now initially my plan was to make it square like a grill, but as I was cleaning up the edges with the hobby knife, I just got ambitious and I decided to cut out full out lip designs for that. So you can see that it actually worked out quite well. I think next time I could probably make them even more refined, but for a first time, I'm pretty happy with those lips. I'm going to do the same thing now with the masking painter's tape. For the hair, that's going to be just some quick flat lines, so I'm not going to do that on camera, but I'll show you how it looks in the end. It's just nice and clean, straight lines, just cleaned those up with the hobby blades, and then that way everything was good, clean, and ready to go. Well, there you have it. We are all done with our preparations. I hope you come back next week where we'll be doing our painting video. All of that color going on really helps bring Queenie to life. As you saw, we learned some lessons this video. While I am really coming to trust my artistic, creative instincts with the paint, I'm clearly new to this whole thing, and I could have used a little bit more help from my local experts in fun to let me know things like putting the body on ahead of time and making sure that we had it fitted to place and any tools that we needed. As you'll see though in our assembly video, all of that stuff, it is figure outable. Just don't hesitate to ask for help. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video and you want to stick around for more content, please like and share this video and follow us over at HPD for more expert advice. Also, comment below. Let us know what's one lesson or tool that you've picked up over the years that's really helped to improve your RC and hobby experience. I'd love for us to learn from each other.